Welcome back, everyone, to another incredible episode of Chat with Dan here for today on the show. We're having already the best Saturday already, the best weekend by far because we have on the show the incredible, the amazing, the badass, the superstar, the legendary, the one and only, even a superhero. Let's find out the incredible Jayda. Jayda, how are you today?
I'm so good. How are you?
Doing fantastic. As I was saying, what better way to have a badass Saturday than to be chatting with someone as badass as you? You know what I mean?
Amazing.
Pretty cool. Now, before we start, for those who are tuning in, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, follow, but also in the description below, you're gonna find all of Jada's social media. Let's share some love. Let's find out why she's super badass. We're on a mission right now. And without further more, let's jump in. So, I want to start this whole conversation by throwing out the very first question, which is, what was the exact moment when you knew that, acting was more than a passion, that it had become kind of your purpose somehow?
I feel like for me, acting has always been a passion for me. Like I watching films and such, but I never thought of getting into it because I was just too nervous, I guess. How I figured out that I had a passion for it was when I did my first acting class and I kind of got pushed into it from my brother and my mom. My brother has like a huge passion for acting and I remember being like, "No, I don't want to do the class and stuff." And um yeah, so I did my first class and it was an intensive program and it was really scary at first, and when I had to perform, and now my acting coach will probably be like, "What the heck?" But I ended up lying and saying that I had to go pick up someone from the airport because I didn't want to perform and I was like too nervous about that. And then he was like, "Just do it now. Do it right now. Perform right now, right before you go." And so I did it. And then after I did it, I was like, "Wow, this is really, really fun." And I remember chatting with my brother after, and we both like totally bonded over that. For purpose wise, I was in psychology, and throughout my classes, I realized that acting is a form of psychology, and being able to relate to someone on the screen is like something that I want to bring to the table because you watch shows and stuff. And I remember this could be like a spoiler, but for like White Lotus, for example, the daughter running in, and if you watch White Lotus, I'm so sorry, but she like ran in and it was a scene where her dad got shot and she was like panicking, and I remember being so shot in that scene and watching them being like, that's exactly how I would react if I was in that situation, and that is something that I definitely want to bring to the table for sure. So that's when I was talking to my mom on the phone, and how I figured out that I think acting is my purpose. And I did my first show, and after I did my rap on that show, it just continues to become more of a passion for me. So I would definitely say that's the case.
There you go. Pretty badass. And until this point, tell me what has been some of the challenges that you had to encounter on this journey you are creating.
I think some challenges that I had to face throughout my whole process here is definitely getting emotional. I had a block for a really long time about like just crying and such, and I think that's just with my background in gymnastics. Like I was taught to like don't cry, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry. So I when I started acting and I had to become very vulnerable in a scene, I it was like my whole body would, feel it, but I wouldn't. I had like a block from it. And then recently this year I like opened up that door and now I can just sob in front of everyone. So that was something that really like challenged me for sure. I still feel like till this day, nerves, everyone has nerves when performing. And growing up when I was in school, I remember always being like, don't call me out in front of class. Don't make me read in front of everyone in the class. And the nerves was also like a block as well. But when you push through that, it's a great feeling. It's a really, really great feeling. So yeah.
Do you still remember your first audition? Tell me, like the whole experience, was it terrified, exciting, or just a huge mess with a huge lesson that you
Um,
earn from that?
I honestly like I kind of got thrown into the acting thing, not gonna lie. So my audition was quite funny. My brother got scouted at Earl's when he was working, and this is when we first started acting, which was last year. And we only did like one or two classes, but we kind of dove into it. We did a demo reel right away, and a lot of people told us to like wait a year to develop skills and stuff before we do a demo reel. And so we did it. And so a producer came into Earl's and actually asked Noah if he wanted to be in a film and if he was an actor. And he was like, yeah. Like, she's like, well, can I see your demo reel? And I was in Noah's demo reel. And so, yeah, so she saw the demo reel and she said, who's the girl? And Noah's like, that's my sister. And she's like, I want her to be the lead in the show. But she has to do an audition for it. And I never took a audition class. I've never like I only did like 2 scene study classes and that's it. It's like 30-second like performances. And I remember thinking that it was a complete scam and just being like, no, like what if they ask for money? Like I don't really know. And so I did the audition, and my audition was in a basement, pitch black. It was vertical, and I had a flashlight camera on me. And I was like, I'm definitely not going to get this because this is so unprofessional. And also, now I know from doing auditions now, everything has to be very professional when you send in an audition and it goes through like a casting director and you have an agent and yada, yada, yada. So, yeah, so it was that. And then the director ended up saying, okay, you're going to have to come in for like an in-person audition because like the client needs to see you and stuff. And I was like, okay. And then I went in and it was my first in-person audition and I ended up getting the role surprisingly. And that's kind of where the journey started. And I'm still learning, of course, but it was really funny how back then looking back, it was like a vertical in a dark room, right? So yeah.
There you go. I mean, it was meant to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And since then you're already showing why you're badass. So I get it. I get it. You know,
Thank you.
pretty cool. Pretty cool. And also, like at this point, tell me what has been some of the important lessons that you had to face to continue on this journey to get better somehow.
Honestly, I think I would say that with every role that I've gotten so far, I always learn something new about myself and I always learn something new on set on like what I can do better. And I think that, that's a whole part of growth within this industry. And so standing up for yourself is one thing. I used to be very quiet with like productions and such. And if something doesn't feel right or uncomfortable, you do have a voice and you can talk to the director and you can, talk to really anyone in production about it. And so that's something that I've learned a lot throughout this entire process.
Now, how do you prepare emotionally for roles that demand this kind of vulnerability, trauma, or even grief? Like, how do you kind of come back from it?
You know, well, I'm a Cancer, so I can cry. But honestly, when you really know the character that you're playing within a scene and you know what they've gone through, you're telling a story essentially for whatever character that you are portraying. And so when I have a role that's more of a deeper role, it's understanding of like what that character has gone through and it can be emotional. And so I recently actually just learned about checking in. And that's something I had no idea about. And someone came up to me and it was after a scene. And it's weird because your body knows the different, like your body knows that, doesn't know the difference when, like, what's real and versus what's not real. And didn't know that at the time. And so yeah, so being able to check in and stay grounded within yourself and check in with people around you after a very intense scene, I think is super, super important. And it's definitely helped me a lot throughout the process as well. So, yeah.
What are some of the things that you usually do? For example, yoga or listen to music, see a film, eat something. Like, what is your thing here?
I film a lot in mansions. So I always go outside and I ground myself. Like I'll take off my shoes and I'll go in the grass and I'll ground myself and just kind of be like present. After, also like before I go to sleep, I do watch like a comfort show as well, just to kind of like be in my body before I go because sometimes they can get a little bit intense. So yeah, and also I'm very grateful that I'm able to have my brother with me throughout this process because he's also navigating throughout this industry the exact same time as I am. And my parents as well are very supportive. So being able to talk to your friends and family is also very grounding for me. And yeah,
What do you say that it's that song that could describe a little bit about your personality and a little bit about your journey as well at this point?
my personality, I always go Speed Emotion by Aerosmith. That's like my
Uh-huh.
pump up song. And it's just, I feel, yeah, it's always my pump up song before I go to set. And that's like I have a whole playlist that me and my dad created, and it's all about like the just Pearl Jam and all that jazz on it. So it's just something that's like that type of music really like, pumps me up before I go. I would say Sweet Emotion by Aerosmith. I'm gonna go with that.
Do you believe acting heals, or can it sometimes reopen wounds we thought that were close?
I think it's both, honestly. I think that there's been times where I've gone through experiences that I've pushed down and I had to bring not had to, but I brought back up within a scene, and I think that healed me in a way, and that's why I feel like acting is almost like therapy because you let it out, you let out what you've gone through, but then you're also becoming someone completely new at the same time because you're portraying a different character, right? So, I would say it's both.
What do you think that is one of the biggest misconceptions that people have about the whole craft and the whole acting industry?
How much work is put into it, like, especially for cast and crew. When I did my first film, I had no idea what I was doing. It was my first time that I ever acted in front of the camera. It was the first time I acted really in general, and watching the crew do so much, I was like, there is so much that gets put into it, and especially prepping as an actor or actress, for the role that you have, there's a lot of work that gets put into it, a lot of memorization and scene analysis and such, so yeah, it's not a quick and easy process. There's a whole thing to it. So,
Totally. I mean, it's more than just learning your lines and good to go, as people might
yeah,
think.
and that's what I thought it was at first. I was like, "Oh, I got this totally memorized." And then no, you have to like totally break everything down. So,
Now, how do you stay grounded in an industry that constantly asks you to reinvent or even sell yourself?
I would go back to like it's all within yourself, but being able to have a support system is super great, and I'm very grateful that I have that with my friends and family. So I'm originally from Edmonton, and calling my friends and my parents is something that really does ground me, especially for like advice as well, which is very important. So, and I think that that's what makes me feel a little bit more confident as well. So, I would say being able to have a support system, but also support yourself because at the end of the day, you really only got yourself, right? So, that's what I would say to that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a process for sure, and it can be a pain, sometimes every now and then. But yeah, it's just part of the whole thing in order to be better, in order to understand more about where your journey should go and where it's gonna be, and like and all of that. So yeah,
Exactly.
pretty
Exactly.
cool, pretty cool. Now, do you believe that real life heartbreak or even personal loss makes someone a deeper performer, or is it like a romantic myth?
I feel like yeah, I feel like it could make you it really depends on the person, but I feel like it can make you a deeper performer. Acting is you're sharing experience on the screen and stuff, and if you've gone through something very similar, I think that it gives you a little bit of a boost with that. So yeah, I would definitely say that it does help.
Was it painful? As you were kind of relating a little bit of your personal life with the character you're about to play, was it like a little bit painful for you to kind of re-explore those emotions, or not at all?
No, I think so. I definitely think so. I think it's also for me, it's like it's confusing too because you I tend to just kind of push everything down and being like, okay, I'm like, I went through that. Let's move on. And bringing it back up again, it's a bit confusing, and it is definitely hard to do that. But that's also the beauty of it is like when you're able to be very grounded within a scene and you understand it, it just flows so much better. So yeah, it does get a little bit painful, but that's just the process of it, right? And that's like the growth of it as well.
Yeah, I mean, I would assume that you need to kind of have like this idea that it's only for a role, right? Like this mentality to it, because I mean, we live constantly, right, in this world that whenever something happened to us, we have this idea that we need to move on, right? We need to move on, move on, move on. But in order to kind of something that happened in the past that was like a little bit painful to put it back, yeah, like to put that mask again to portray something. I mean, I put myself in those shoes and I'll be like, yeah, I mean, I will have to have like this really mentality to be like, okay, this is gonna be just for a while, and
Yeah.
then I'll move on, because I know how much it hurt to me back then. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Totally, totally.
Now, have you ever turned down a role because it didn't align with who you are or who you want to become at some point?
I've dibble dabbled with the vertical world, and I've had a couple of roles that were presented to me, and I'm very grateful for it. Like it's a whole process, but there was a couple of roles that I was like, I don't think this really aligns with my values and who I am as a person and what I how I want to be portrayed as well. So I would kindly turn it down for that.
What do you think about the whole thing with the vertical world? I mean, I didn't discover it until a few months ago, and I was like, "What the hell?" You know that there are this huge amount now, and there are also apps who are just selling that as a streaming service now. And I was just curiousing around, and it turns out that every episode is when you kind of scroll down. And I was like, "Are
Yeah.
you kidding me now? This is crazy."
It's so crazy. It's very soap opera. I've had a very good experience with the vertical world, I would say. Yeah, that's how I got thrown into acting really, and I had no knowledge about acting in general, and I think the positive for me at least was that learning in such a fast pace in a short amount of time has made me a better performer, I want to say, and also just, grounded me a little bit more within this industry. So like after my first show that I did, I got an agent and I was very happy about that and then I started booking from there, but when I booked my first union job, we had like I was so used to filming 16 scenes within a day and doing one or two takes of it, and then, with a union film, you're doing like 3 or 4, and I was like I felt so chill. I was like, "Oh, we're doing 3 or 4 scenes today. This is great." And they focus so much on it. So I think that that's a positive with the vertical industry is that it does train you in a very fast pace. And you learn so much within every show, and you meet so many incredible people. I mean, I've met amazing directors and actors throughout the process too, and I almost took it as acting lessons as well throughout the shows because I would learn about how other actors like prep for their role or what they do, and then being able to communicate and learn how to communicate with a director as well was like such an incredible experience. So yeah, it's very different, the vertical industry. It's very new, and I've only been acting for just a year and a bit, and that's when verticals came into Vancouver. So it's a growing industry, and it's different every time. I feel like every show that I do, it's a little bit different, which is nice.
Yeah, totally. When I saw that, I was like, "Damn, I feel old."
Gosh.
I was like, "Ah, crap. So I'm getting old now." Okay, okay, I get it now. I get when my dad used to tell me at some point you're gonna get a little bit older, and when you see like the young stuff, you're gonna say you're older. And I was like, "Pfft, yeah, whatever." Turns out it did. I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, damn, I'm getting old. So crazy. Anyway, now in a world of social media and constant visibility, do you think mystery is still a useful tool for actors?
Feel like I'm a mix of both. I feel like whenever I post with, family friends, and if I'm on a vacation or something, or if I've finished a project, then I will post it, because if I had the choice to not have social media, I definitely wouldn't have social media. But it is now like it is good exposure to have. And that's also, my tool for people to scout me if they are interested in something. So I think with mystery though, I don't really think too much into social media. Maybe I should. I feel like maybe I should. But I just kind of like go with the flow with it and post whatever. And sometimes if I don't like it, then I'll just delete it and just be like, oh, maybe I just shouldn't post that. If I was someone that was watching someone's Instagram and didn't know too much about them, but I've seen them on the screen, I would definitely be like, oh, what's happening in their life? Like, what are they doing? So I totally get like the whole mystery thing. But yeah, with me, I just kind of like I just post whatever. I don't think too much into it. And maybe I should, but I don't right now.
I mean, it's your style. That's the thing here to discover what is your thing, basically. So I
Yeah.
get it. Now, if one day your work helps someone to feel seen or gave them the courage to dream again, tell me,
Mhm.
would that be enough?
I mean, that's the goal. That's like I for me, I think that was like the whole point why I got into it, cuz You know, like I said before, acting's a form of psychology, and I wanna be able to portray a scene where someone's like, "I can totally relate to that," and just being able to do that. So, yeah, I would feel like that would definitely be enough for me if someone came up to me and said that. It would, like, make my world. So, yeah. Yeah, I would definitely say yes.
Pretty cool. More badass. What can I say? Now, switching to our next section, speed round questions. Yes, no, pass. Super simple. Gonna ask you a couple of questions in which you can only answer yes, no, or pass. Now, do you ever stay in character after the director yells cut?
No.
Have you ever cried in a scene that it wasn't scripted?
Yes.
Do you believe in method acting?
Pass.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Is acting more about truth than talent?
No.
Okay. Have you ever regretted saying yes to a role?
No.
Would you take a break from acting if your soul asks for it?
No.
Do you think the world still values great storytelling over quick entertainment?
Yes.
Pretty badass. Now, do you believe patience is more valuable than speed in a creative career?
Oh, yeah. Well, I know that, like, when you're on set, you have to be so present and also so patient within yourself to before a scene to get into character. So, yeah, I would say patience is very important for sure.
I mean, at the end, what can I say? You know, the fact that you're doing what makes you happy, that's pretty cool. But not also that, you're also showing that dreams are possible. And I think in this crazy, messed up world we're currently living, we are currently are living right now, the fact that we can rely on people like you who are just showing us that dreams are possible. I mean, yeah, sure, you're creating cool characters, which is amazing, but also you are showing dreams are possible. And I think that is a super powerful, positive message we should totally be focusing on. And hey, you also are lighting things up with your cool stuff here, so that's pretty cool. And now we discover why you're pretty badass. So mission accomplished.
Oh, thank you. Oh, that's so cool. So cool. Yeah. No, it's an interesting industry. It's an industry that I had no idea that I thought I was going to even step foot in. And you know, the process of it is incredible, and meeting people is incredible, and I do love it. I do love it. And that's a big thing is like, you know, if you have a dream, I feel like you go for it, make that dream into a goal, and just you know, support yourself, love yourself throughout the entire process, and just go for it. Honestly, what's the worst that's gonna happen?
Yeah, yeah, that's true. I mean, at the end, I do also encourage to, if you think about something, just do it. You know, you already have the worst outcome, which is nothing. You know,
Yeah.
so why not give it a try? And if that doesn't work, well, at least you give it a try and then move on to the next thing. Or maybe on that thing, you will discover what really is important to you. You know what I mean? And not let yourself with this idea that I'm not going to be able to do it because I don't know, I don't have money or I don't have specific parents who will support me. I mean, reasons to not do something, they're always going to be, right? But why not focus on the good thing and make it happen? So
Exactly. Exactly.
pretty cool. Pretty cool. So I want to thank you so much for making this happen. I do want to thank also those who stayed the whole episode. Let us know what you think in the comments below. But by this point, come on, you should know why Jayda is super badass. So let's share some more love, and also let's make her viral. Hashtag Team Jayda. And again, thank you for making this happen. Keep shining out there, keep rocking, keep doing what you do, and I'll be seeing you in the next one.
Thank you so much.
All right.